Hey there everybody, welcome back into the kitchen. Today I am, I'm on another mead making adventure. It's a little bit of Cowboy Coffee, a little bit of mead. Should be really interesting. I got some discount honey, I got some discount Sumatra, nice dark roast coffee. So let's get started and hopefully this will work out, well, with no strange little explosions or anything like happened with the 3 berry stuff. So yeah, let's get started. By the time everything was all said and done last time, we ended up using a 5-gallon, we'll call it a carb oil, though it's a water bottle, 2 things of honey, 2 things of yeast. So I'm just gonna set that up now. It actually managed to finish in a month, so that's why I'm doubling up, and it's probably not enough honey, but it's all part of my plan. This is gonna work. I have faith. This one here, I am going to start melting the honey and getting it ready for the pot. This one here, we're going to start brewing up our Cowboy Coffee. I believe this is still whole bean, so might have to take a hammer to that first. Never ground coffee for this particular purpose before, but since I've got the opportunity, put it in the French press zone all the way at the end here. I figure we don't need to listen to me grind a pound of coffee though. So after the day I've already had today, I thought ahead, upgraded my pot size. So I'm glad I did. There's a whole pound of coffee in here. It takes up rather a fair bit of space. Figured y'all want to see that before we get going. But I'm going to leave this pretty thick for brewing because I want coffee so strong it can hold up a spoon. I'll crank this up to, well, go with medium for now, because historically that gives me a decent boil. And maybe just a little bit more water in there. And while that coffee gets to brewing, we're going to start activating our yeast here. Now remember, I've got 2 packets of yeast, but my water is just over 100 degrees according to my little temp gun. So that can just kind of sit off to the side for now. This needs to do some brewing. And I guess I've got about half an hour to kill somewhere else. And while all that's setting itself up, I thought I'd take a second to show you how nicely that last one looks bottled up. We've got a friend who's saving us a few of these wine bottles because they have the resealable tops. Came out very nice. Very excited to see what this is going to look like in a similar bottle. Kind of excited to see what it looks like in a cup too, but that's about a month or so away based on the last one, so alright. And to be honest, I'm still very much enjoying the last one. It's not like the most potent alcoholic beverage in the world, but I'm not necessarily looking to get slammed. I'm looking for a nice, light, refreshing beverage after a day that maybe hurt a little bit out in the yard and fields, so yeah, very nice. Okay, the house smells amazing. This coffee has been brewing away for half an hour now. My yeast is basically getting activated. I've got my second pot out here. I'm going to start melting my honey into that. And once this cools down, probably 50 degrees or so, then I'm going to start throwing that into the jug. Alright, so believe it or not, this is actually going according to plan. I must admit though, I'm having a bit of a hard time believing that it's going according to plan, but I do like it when a plan works out. Well, I got almost all the honey set to melt in that one pot, but it's not quite going to fit. So I guess I'm just going to start putting it straight in with the coffee there once it cools down a little bit. It's always something that goes just that little bit off center with my plans, but I'm still convinced this is all going to work out, so yeah, I could just be vibing on the smell of that coffee. Does smell really good. So I sanitized this massive old Tupperware juice jug and I've been using it to shuttle some water from the sink. I got a good chunk in there before I started mixing things in, and then I've kind of been ladling in a little bit of coffee, a little bit of honey water, bringing in another pitcher. Once again, I've got my, again, sterilized top half of a 2-liter pop bottle in there because it makes a fantastic cheap funnel, and the canning funnel is just a little bit too big for the top. So yeah, I'm going to keep on ladling this over. My wort, or my yeast I should say, I'll get the terminology right one day. looking pretty decent. I want to make sure that my honey water's not too hot for it though. 115, 114, 120. Yeah, I'm going to let that cool down a little bit more before I go throwing the yeast in there. But basically, just filling it up. Well, hopefully I didn't miss any steps along the way. I got a whole pound of Sumatra in there. Granted, it only cost me like $2.50, but I really enjoy that particular coffee, so I hope I'm not wasting it here. Got 2 kilos of honey in there, nowhere near enough to actually make this a good, strong, powerful beverage, but enough in there to throw some alcohol in here, and the yeast should work its way through it and kill itself off in a month. Is kind of what happened last time. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for this time, but remember, this is not an educational channel. We've got my airlock on there, we've got everything all sealed up, well as sealed as it was for the last time. It is currently the 20th. We will check back on this, I guess September 20th, and find out what's going on. If anything freaky happens in the meantime, I will of course let you know. Alright guys, well thank you for joining me, and I will catch you in the next totally random kitchen video.